Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
The following is a Red Apple Podcast Network presentation.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Dominic Carter's podcast. This is Dominic Carter's City Hall. Now, here's Dominic Carter.
Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast, Talk Radio 77 WABC. You can listen to me weeknights, Monday through Friday, midnight to 1 a.m. This is so offensive to the people of New York City. You might as well tell us your eyes are lying to you about crime. The horrendous incidents you hear about regarding people being pushed on the subway tracks, stabbed, viciously beaten over and over and over again, that's your mind playing tricks on you. We are sold by progressive politicians an Alice in Wonderland story that such attacks are an aberration. They don't point to a pattern. It's just your imagination, and of course they blame the media. So first, it was only a perception that crime is out of control that New York City Mayor Eric Adams tried to sell nationally. Now, he does a U-turn, pointing to a small segment of the mentally ill.
When you do an analysis of the subway crimes we are seeing, you're seeing that it's being driven by people with mental health issues. I mean, if you got a ninja outfit on and you're running around with a sword, swinging at people, I mean, something is wrong. People, Michelle Gold's murder, you're seeing this mental health issue that we are facing. There's a small number of people with mental health issues that we need to make sure they have community, health care, and the support that they need.
Perception, Mr. Mayor? Folks, if you really want to know what is going on, Cats at Night on WABC 5 to 6 p.m. daily on weekdays is must listen to radio. Cats at Night and the Cats Roundtable on Sunday mornings, hosted by the owner-operator of WABC, John Catsimatidis. What you see crime-wise is what's really in front of you. Crime in New York and other areas throughout America is completely out of control. Former New York City Police Commissioner Ray Kelly appeared Sunday on the Cats Roundtable. The ex-NYPD commissioner is criticizing Mayor Adams on crime, stating what we all know, the obvious. Fighting crime is not brain surgery.
What the heck is going on in New York? Are we going to find a solution and solve the crimes?
As I've often said, we were the safest big city in America just a few years ago. So this is not brain surgery. You go back and look at the things we were doing then, and you re-implement them. But apparently the mayor doesn't want to do this. Doesn't want to put back in anti-crime units. Doesn't want to use stop and frisk in a natural, normal way. The transit police, in my judgment, it has to be the Transit Police Bureau has to be looked at, re-examined, because when they were a separate police department, they had 4,400 police officers. Now, in the Transit Bureau, there's about 2,500. That's a major reduction. I would use some sort of outside entity to come in and take a look at the transit police, see what their manning level should be, see what posts should be covered. I think they need a fresh look at the transit system, because we know the subways are the lifeblood of New York. People are still not going to get on them. Every day you read about a crime, and that just reinforces the notion that it's too dangerous to travel on the subway. And it's one of the reasons
we agree.
So much traffic in the morning.
So days before the midterms, where Democrats across the country are taking a hit, with crime being the top issue, and with Republican Lee Zeldin doing the impossible. Zeldin has surged, making the New York race for governor with Kathy Hochul neck and neck. Hochul and Mayor Adams announced they will flood the city's crime-ravaged subway system with 1,000 cops, ramp up the installation of additional surveillance cameras, plus Hochul and Adams say they are creating new 25-bed inpatient units at 2 psychiatric centers to help get seriously mentally ill people who are homeless out of the subway system and to shelter. Then, Hochul drops a new ad focusing on crime days from the election, in which she says, quote, "You deserve to feel safe, and as your governor, I won't stop working until you do," she promises in the spot. But for Hochul, could this be too little too late to shift and focus on crime now? Even Democrats are pondering the question whether she has blown the election.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Also appearing with our owner-operator of WABC, John Catsimatidis, on the Cats Roundtable, happened to be a former senior aide to Governor Andrew Cuomo. You know, that guy that put Hochul on his ticket? Well, Melissa DeRosa appeared taking direct shots at Governor Hochul on crime.
I think that the state has a very big role in the MTA. And, they have the majority appointments on the board. They select the chairman, the CEO, and she has been completely absent from the conversation, almost as if she has absolutely nothing to do with it.
But there was much more between Mr. Catsimatidis and Melissa DeRosa.
It seems like New Yorkers are getting very, very much concerned about the crime in the city. I mean, I had Anthony Weiner on just before you, and I asked him, would you allow your son to go down the subway? And I don't, and he said yes. And I just couldn't do that to my son at that age. What say you, Melissa?
I think that there's a real disconnect between politicians on the left and everyday people in the city right now. And crime is not a political issue. I think that politicians politicize it on both sides. But feeling safe or not feeling safe is just a way of life. And to your point, John, subways are a sacred space, right? You're going down underground. A lot of times your phone doesn't work. You're surrounded by strangers. You're in this metal box. Most people have to take the subway because they can't afford an Uber or they don't have a car in the city. So in order to get to and from work, they have no choice. So really they're held hostage to the MTA. And the least the MTA and the city and the state can do is provide safe service. And right now, every day, you're seeing stories pop about people being pushed onto subway tracks where there's someone getting stabbed, somebody getting shot, people getting mugged. And the problem, I think, with the Democratic Party right now and politicians on the left is that they believe that they can convince New Yorkers not to feel something that they feel. And the reality is that politicians work for voters, not the other way around. And so when they're communicating to the people that they hire, that they put in office, I do not feel safe. And the politicians are responding by putting their head in the sand or trying to talk about statistics and explain to them why what they're seeing and feeling isn't real. It's not going to work. And so I think particularly in these polls, as we get closer, unless the Democratic politicians, Hochul specifically, but in general, get smart to this and the fact that, New Yorkers are not stupid and it's a real issue and they want it addressed and do something about it, I think that they're going to have an uncomfortably close election day.
And the conversation also went back to Governor Hochul.
I think the larger issue for Hochul, which if I were, on her team right now, I would be concerned about, is it's the trend. It's the overall trend. And what you're seeing is that as we're getting closer to Election Day and as crime and the economy continue to be top of mind for people rightly, I think, in New York City and New York State in general, you're seeing Lee Zeldin pick up steam. And what's interesting is when you actually drill down on the numbers, you wonder, is this a phenomenon, Republicans going home, independents breaking for Republicans? But when you look at the crosstabs and you see that Chuck Schumer's lead has not been affected in the last several weeks in these different polls, he still maintains, between a 15 and 20-point lead. It's not closing the same way it is with Hochul. So there's something specific going on in the Hochul race.
So can Hochul hold on for dear life, or might Lee Zeldin be the first Republican in 20 years to win statewide office in New York? And that brings this episode to a close. I want to thank you folks for joining us. If you are interested in my book on my life growing up in New York City and overcoming numerous obstacles, the book is titled No Mama's Boy, and it will be personally signed for you by me. Or if you are interested in my bobblehead doll, you can go to my website, Dominic Carter Online, all one word, Dominic Carter Online. You can catch me on 77 WABC, weeknights, midnight to 1 a.m. Go check out the Dominic Carter merchandise at the 77 WABC store, from Dominic Carter t-shirts to hats and much more. Go to WABCRadiostore.com. Dominic Carter, Red Apple Podcast, 77 WABC.
I gotta make it.
Dominic Carter Socials on Twitter at Dominic TV and Facebook and Instagram. Dominic Carter TV. Email at dominic.carter@wabcradio.com. Until the next episode, be well. And as Dominic always says, stay positive. The glass is always half full, never half empty. Dominic Carter City Hall.